Do you guys remember when Ram CEO Tim Kuniskis said that they can't build a truck for below $40,000 or they would lose money? Yeah, it came from this video I shot in June where Ram CEO Tim Kuniskis was asked the question by my friend JD at Big Truck Big RV. And this is what he had to say.
Yep. Why is it so difficult to achieve a $40,000 price tag on these trucks?
Because I'll lose money. If I try and sell light duty trucks with the technology that we have in it, with the federally mandated requirements that we have in it, with everything that's in that truck today, what am I going to strip out? Get a tradesman today and you tell me what I'm going to strip out of it. What I strip out of a tradesman today to get to that, I'm going to save $1,000, maybe. I can't get to 40,000. Can't. Just can't do it.
Now, that video created a lot of controversy because people had pointed out, well, the $1,000 is really just greed. It's just a CO pay. That's why he's talking about again getting out of that money, and it's just created all this stuff in the comments. Which that's not what he was talking about. He was talking about more of the federally mandated stuff. But I thought it was interesting because my friend called me and said, "Hey, if you look at the sales we're having on trucks right now, we're actually below $40,000. So was Ram CEO Tim Kuniskis right that he can't get below $40,000 or lose money, or was he wrong because you can buy a Ram truck today for below $40,000? Chin rub moment. Hey, it's Tim, Pickup Truck Plus SB Talk. Let's talk about that story and a variety of other things that happened this week in the truck world. This is part of my weekly truck news recap show where I do a main story and a variety of other small stories and get you caught up on this week's truck news because I guarantee you're probably not so involved in the truck world as I am. And you can listen to this as a podcast, your favorite podcast players. Just go ahead and download that. And by the way, somebody commented this week on YouTube and said they listened to this show on the podcast and they really like it. Well, I appreciate that. I don't get much feedback on the podcast. And by the way, the podcast is not sponsored and I don't make any money over there on the podcast. I give that to you guys for free. So enjoy the podcast. That's my gift to you. Let's go back to this video. I want to share one thing with you guys behind the scenes because I do this quite a bit on this truck news recap show. I wanted to show you this. This is the behind the scenes. If I get that pulled up correctly, let me do this one more time and get this done. I did this video earlier and I screwed this up. So let me do it like this. Haha. This is how much that video is made. For those wondering how many thousands of dollars I roll in every month, this video short has 335,141 views and it's made $66.47. So that's why don't do a lot of shorts on YouTube, and that's why I do a lot more shorts on TikTok because TikTok pays a hell of a lot better than that. So that is the details on that short. But let's talk about this Ram story for my friend. He wants to retire. It's thinking about retiring, which I still blows my mind. I've known him for years, and I've worked with him and the PR side as you would. That's how journalists and PR people work together. And I got to refresh my page here. But we've argued, we've fought, we've had good times, we've worked together on stories, interviews. It's just that's how PR and the media work together. So it's him and his dog, and he likes to travel across country and wants stuff in his bed. He doesn't tow a whole lot or very often, but he hauls a whole lot. That's what he needs a truck for. So he would do a quad cab, 6.5-foot bed, and he would do the tradesman because he's done the big luxury trucks. He's done limiteds and tungstens and things, and it's just not his thing. It's just not his thing. And that's what makes truck market so cool is you can do the fully loaded $87,000 truck if you want to, but you can still get the $40,000 truck. That's huge difference in features and trim levels, and as far as the cabin, as far as the plastic, or you want wood grain, or what do you want inside the cabin, and then how the massaging seats or heated or cool seats, whatever. A big difference there. So let's talk about this. So he's got a tradesman quad cab. Now you can do 4-wheel drive or 2-wheel drive. So 4-wheel drive is about $4,000 add-on. But it's interesting. We were talking about this. If you think back about 40, 50 years, talk about your grandfather's truck, they all came 2-wheel drive. We're so used to today's world where all we have is all-wheel drive SUVs or all we have is 4-wheel drive trucks. Remember, back in the 50s and 60s, all they had was rear-wheel drive cars, and they put chains on the tires, and they survived many Minnesota, Canadian, Michigan, upstate New York winters. But now we've gotten so used to 4-wheel drive trucks, we just think that's norm. And down south in Florida and Georgia and Texas and Arizona, I see a lot of 2-wheel drive trucks. So I think it's interesting that a lot of people like me in the North, us Yankees, we think of four-wheel drive as the premium. And that's what we have to have. That's bare minimum, four-wheel drive. But it is interesting to think about a two-wheel drive truck is, well, pretty well thought after. It's still a good seller. And a lot of trucks down south are two-wheel drive. Let's say you do two-wheel drive. What's your price point here? So if I do a two-wheel drive quad cab tradesman, which is still a pretty good looking truck, and I build price that, well, look at that. I'm 38,133. I think the 2026 model is like maybe $500 more. So you're looking 25, 26. So how does this break out? So net price. So here we go. Here's the price. We have 40,275, right? That's our base price. So Theo Tim Kaniskis was right. 40,000 base price. And he also said federally mandated. That means a couple things. That means emissions equipment. And I know people are going to say in the comments, well, Tim, who cares about emissions anymore? President Trump had said these companies don't owe any fines for not meeting the corporate average fuel economy numbers, CAFE. So that stuff's all gone. Emissions are gone. EPA wokeness is done. Not really the case. Those rules are still in place. Automakers are still going to keep the engineering in place for those rules because they look at things in the long-term aspects. They're not going to take the stuff off the trucks to meet whatever things are happening in the future. That's not how those companies work. They look at long-term stuff. So that stuff's all in place. And yet also the federally mandated safety equipment. We'll talk a little more about that. There's things that are in vehicles and trucks that are going to be mandatory. So even if he takes $1,000 off of that, he's still 40, 39. That's kind of where things are at. And I know people are going to tell me, and I've seen it in the comments many times, that they can build these trucks for $1,000. They can build these trucks for $2,000, whatever. I hear that stuff all the time. I don't know. I don't have access to their books. I'm not going to argue that price point. I don't know. But this is where we're at. But $40,275. What my friend had pointed out was the incentives. $4,237 in incentives. That puts us down to $38,133. So $38,000 for a brand new truck. And then if you had bonus cash, military bonus, and loyalty, you can get below that as well, down 36. And one other thing they pointed out to me, I just took a phone call on this. If you finance this and our payment's $530 a month, what Ram is doing right now, and again, if you put 10% down, your payment's going to be $530 at 72 months at what's that? 0%. So they're doing 0% financing right now, 72 months, $530 a month for a truck that I think white or red are two choices, right? Red looks pretty sharp. Quad cab, and then inside the cabin, you have the smaller screen. People want to make all these comments about these big screens. We don't need these big screens. Well, here's a small screen. This is the smallest screen you can get. Why? Federally mandated backup cameras. I keep seeing these videos online. People are calling dealerships going, I don't want any of my employees to have big screens. And the screen's got to go away. I don't want screen at all. Think about this stuff, guys. You have to have a federally mandated backup camera on these trucks. You have to have a screen to be able to see that camera. This is a requirement from the government. So if you don't like that, vote out all the lawmakers and get new people in there. But we were running over children. We were running over people. Old ladies across the street, we're running over them. So federally mandated backup cameras are probably a good thing, I think. So this is why the screen exists. Okay, so that's the smallest screen you can get. So this is your interior bench seat, fleet seating. You can add different things and stuff. You can add chrome appearance package. My friend liked the night edition. So he liked it all blacked out, which he said, you look at this thing blacked out. If you do the night edition and you black it all out, yeah, you add a couple $1,000. But when you black it all out, he said, man, this is a good looking truck. Let me flip this around. I guess I got to go back the other way. That's a good looking truck. Quad cab. The longer box, so you can put like a camper back there, or you can haul materials for working on this house in that truck. Fleet, as far as the interior, easy to clean, easy to vacuum out. Him and his dog go across the country. He's at 41. His payment's $600 a month, and they're not alone. Ram isn't alone in this. 4050, 36,907, 39,999, 39, 38, 35, 39, Chevrolet, 37, 38, 39, 37, 37. Other Ram trucks, 39, 38, 37, 39, 39, 37. So I think it was interesting. And that was interesting that he had said, hey, there's always these conversations about, my gosh, look how expensive trucks have gotten and look how expensive all these features are. But when you think about like the trucks on the market today and what you can get and what the truck is today and the features that's in it today versus even like 5 years ago, the safety in these trucks now, the features, the way the cabin is, the fuel efficiency, and I would argue the reliability of even these little V6s. I know people are saying, it's got to have a V8, it's got to do this. The Pentastar V6, no turbo, no cylinder deactivation, no hybrid system. It's been a pretty reliable engine. Let's say the base engines are pretty reliable. Base engines don't make the news like the other engines have, like the V8s have. Like GM's V8's been a lot of news. The Hemi, the Hemi came back. I thought, hey, it came back great. I've heard nothing but questions about the e-torque system, about exhaust manifolds with the Hemi in the comments. I'm like, okay, all right, guys, you guys don't like that. All right. So interesting. I think it's a good option. I just thought it was an interesting conversation this morning, and I'm still stuck on the retirement word he used, but I guess we're getting older. I'm not retiring. You guys are not done with me anytime soon, so don't get that word out there. I know. You guys let me know in the comments. You're not done with me. What's on pickuptrucktalk.com? What happened this week? Lots of stuff happened. So I reran the Toyota Tundra refresh story because I was wrong. I thought it was going to come out 26, and apparently it's not. But I want to keep that up there because gosh darn it, it's coming. And I got some trips coming up with Toyota soon. I know there's going to be a Trail Hunter kind of version model again at SEMA. They're putting some energy back in that truck. I'm hoping they're going to fix some of the issues that kind of came up with that truck. I really had a bad experience in 22. So I'm going to be at SEMA this year. I'm going to see what they can do. I'm excited. I want to see them do something badass. So I made that story, put it back on pickuptrucktalk.com. Check it out. The Sierra EV84 review, new writer Ross Ballett did that story. He had a lot of things to say. Didn't have a lot of nice things to say either. It was rather interesting read. The Sierra 1500 was spy testing. Details for you in that. I'm gonna get some photos or updated photos of Silverado 1500 testing as well. That on the website too. There's already a story or video on the YouTube channel, but I want to get the story on Pickup Truck Talk as well. RHO review put up there for you guys. I haven't missed the V8, to be honest with you. I just drove it today. I'm actually doing a big road trip the next several days, towing my camper with it. So it's been a great truck, a lot of fun. Although I have a crack in my windshield now, which I'm not really happy about. And I just rolled over 10,000 miles, 10,003, I think, as it says on the dash. We have a video coming out for you tomorrow. I'm going to work with my friend this afternoon. We're doing a video. My friend Byron Hurd, he's the writer over at thedrive.com. He did a whole story on the Gen 3 valve body for the 10-speed transmission, and we're collaborating together on this video. Talk more about his story and my story and his interview with Nate from Next Gen Transmissions, I think is his name of his company. So interesting details on that coming out for you guys tomorrow. Really interesting stuff. So a lot of stuff, again, website, we're doing a lot more stories over there. If you haven't been over there lately, check it out. There's a lot of stuff going on over there on the website. And then a lot of stuff going on the forum as well. We're talking about EV tax credit ending. How old is your truck? Interesting comments going on with that. And then we have what new truck to buy for the next 20 years, kind of deal on the forum. And then on the YouTube channel, what happened, there's been a lot going on over there. And so we had the final video, the Warlock HD from that Ram event went live. I have a meeting next Monday morning with the Power Performance Products. I got the name right. These guys have a new interesting diesel additive that will clean out your diesel injector and DPF cleaner. I want to see this stuff in person, so I'm going to stop and see them in Texas. And then I have a story on why the Ram truck has shockingly low payload. And I have a photo of the payload number in that truck and in that video, and I can show you that one. We had the Ram electric truck was dead, renamed the Ram EV Rev. Name goes in the Ram Charger. Yeah, it all goes together. We have the really expensive Expedition. I did a video on that. And then we have the EV market dying, which is my guess. It's doomed, but a lot of opinions on that. That actually 11 days, the federal EV tax credit goes away. What is going to happen? Dun, dun, dun. Then we have the Sierra 1500 prototype that with the photos in that video. I talked all about the story in that video and what's going to happen with that truck and what we expect to happen. Next year could be a massive year. Next year could be F-150, could be GM trucks. Those two are pretty well confirmed, and maybe Toyota Tundra. Huge year. And then for shorts, which is those massively money-making things I do over here, we have Lightning XCX, VW cabin filter. We have the 4Runner. We have the CEO of GM still thinks the EVs are the future of the company. The Polaris, I talked about that as far as $45,000. I made a funny video about fixing my crappy RMRHO exhaust note. That was good. And then I did a quick video on the refreshed Tundra coming out, what I expect for those changes as well. So that's what I have for you this week on the Truck News Recap show. I'll have a video next week. Maybe, I don't know, I'll be in Texas. I'll see if I get a chance to put the show up. If not, I'll see you the week after. Yeah, so have a good weekend. Also, like I said, make sure you check the video tomorrow. It's going to be great on the next gen transmission conversations, but the GM bell body conversation on transmissions, because it is quite the spirited article, and there's a lot of mud flinging back and forth between this gentleman and GM. It is drama filled. For more, check out the website down below, pickuptrucktalk.com. Other videos up over here. As always, thanks for watching or listening to the podcast. As always, I will see you down the road.